So we've married the miniature to the base.
Yeah, it looks good. Matt painted the base, so he used a little bit different techniques on painting all the different elements. So we need to do a little adjustment. For sure of the color. I mean, those parts here, they already look great and work well with the Horus, with those small highlights and the cracks.
Yeah, we got the yellow in there with the gold. We got the green also on the Horus on the shoulder pads, for example.
Definitely. And we have here some blue tones also in the shadows, which we've also used on the Horus.
Yeah.
You can see on the backside, I already also just kind of primed the those bended metal bars here in the base.
Okay. Yeah.
Here in a dark, very dark blue. Also to make them fit well with the Horus.
Yeah, kind of trying to repeat the same color tones, and the darkness really from the miniature in the base really binds those two elements together, doesn't it?
Definitely. The next important step, once the small elements are painted and nothing special here, so the most important step is the change in color here, because this is so warm and red. It steals a bit too much of the attention from our Horus.
Yeah.
So we'll work with thin glazes and add some of those small highlights, maybe here on the writing on the stairs and on the edges here.
So basically, that's what you always do when you're kind of assembling a miniature into a whole scene, that you look at everything, do the colors fit, is there any detail that I need to work out? And that's what we're going to be doing now. So off cam, you will prepare all of the small bits and kind of finish the base really. And then we'll show you how to adjust the color tone of the stairs.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Right.
Awesome.
Okay, so here we are with the little elements painted. You can see just very dark blue, almost black. The same non-metal as we used in Horus for the shoulder pads. Also on the back. The next important step is the changing of that color here.
Yeah.
As it's quite red in the shadows, I will just add blue to make it kind of more neutral.
Is there any particular blue that you would be using for that?
I'm not so sure. But, let's take some, how you call that?
DSB.
Yeah. The magic juju. Dark sea blue.
Yeah.
So, some water, dark sea blue. A very thin glaze. We don't want to ruin all the work Matt's done here on the marble, so we have to make sure the wash is quite thin.
And in those letters, it actually is not a big problem if it pools. It's actually quite desired, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I will add some small highlights on the letters as well. But so it's quite nice if it pools down there, so it's easier for us to highlight them.
Yeah, and this may be something where you think, well, like marbles look great, why not leave it like that? And it's just those little details, especially when we're talking about competition pieces, where everything really needs to fit together. Yeah. And it's just too warm. And the problem with that is, as Ben already said earlier, it just draws too much attention at this point.
But you can see, compared to the upper side, it's already changing quite a bit. We'll blow dry that and see if we need another go with the wash. We're quite fine. I will also darken those, so maybe just give the whole thing a thin wash. Here I try to push it a little to the sand and gravel here, so it collects there in the recesses.
Would you actually do anything to that gravel as well, or would you just leave it like that?
I think I will leave it like that. Once it dries, should look good. I will mix some of my wash in a separate cup because it keeps just running through the wet palette paper. So you have to be careful when blow drying the resin model because when Matt earlier blow dried it already bended a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So resin is somewhat not made for for blow drying. But if you take care and just be a little bit more far away with the blow dry, it should be okay.
Yeah, especially if you have thin parts like a sword or a spear or something.
Or here the handrail, something like that. So we let that dry and see if we need maybe another wash over the whole thing, maybe even with black here for the very deep recesses.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're back for the final highlights and we should be done.
Good.
In the next step, I will add some tiny highlights and then we'll do the darker wash because this way I can correct some of the highlights that might get too big with the wash. I think I will show it here on this piece and that and continue after.
Okay.
For now, I'll take some of that base tone that Matt used for the rock. It's flat maroon. Mimente.
What?
Yeah, it's a. Okay. Here.
Oh, Italieri. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an Italieri paint. Matt used that for the rock, so I'll use some of that in my brush. And some white to the tip. Just here on the edge a tiny bit.
I think that's also a little characteristic of your style, isn't it?
That small flashy highlights.
Yeah.
And same here, I think we will see a huge difference with the little writing there.
I think it's important to realize there was really nothing wrong with the base by itself, but now we have the Horus on there. He's got all these little small sparkly highlights, and that's something that you also want to kind of repeat over the base.
Yeah.
And again, I think the danger here is again it's easy to overdo it. You want to be careful.
Yeah, but see, I'm not even picking out each and every letter, but just the prominent ones. And yeah, if you compare the upper one to the lower one, you see actually what quite big difference it makes with the small lights. Same here. Those rough elements like the sides here where the marble just broke also deserve some few stipples of white to get like a more sharp look. Okay, I think I'll continue with the highlights on the steps and do that off cam, and we'll be back for the last dark wash.
Okay, will you do any highlights on the green marble as well?
The highlights here are already a bit like that.
Okay.
The small dots. So I'm happy with those.
Yeah.
And I think when I'll do the dark wash, I'll give those lines just a bit stronger contrast with some black. But I'm happy with the highlights.
Okay, cool. We'll be right back.
You can see I've added a lot of small highlights on the upper edges down here and there. Also some cracks and highlights on the dark side here of the stairs, and small highlights all the way up here.
And the blue not only breaks the red, but also kind of combines everything with the green a little better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Final and next step is the dark wash in all the very dark recesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I will mix a wash from dark sea blue, black, and
So if there's anything you take home from these videos, it's like, if it's a shadow, put dark sea blue in it.
also use it for the highlight, but it might look awkward. So I've also added some brown model wash from Vallejo to the mix. Get like a very dark brown. I will put some on the palette so you can see it. And a little bit more black. Okay.
This kind of hides uninteresting detail in a way.
Yeah.
And frames the more colorful parts, doesn't it?
Yes, plus it helps to also gray it down a bit. And yeah, combine all the different parts. We also pull it up quite a bit on the green here. And some black just here. Yeah, I really like that level of contrast. So you can see the figure pops out really nice. You have about the same feeling of highlights here and there. Not as detailed here as there, but you really want that to keep the focus on Horus.
Yeah. And with his face again, it really is the center focal point.
Yeah. So I'll continue with the dark wash on the backside and we'll show you the finished model.
Okay.